Good afternoon. No, still morning. Good morning, friends. Mark Holmes here with
Mike Lanty Fitness.
And as always, we want to thank you guys for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Joe Boo Sports Report. Without you guys, this literally does not work. You know, no matter what you do, no matter how you plan, shit always happens to throw a monkey wrench into it. So, we got a ceiling fan, exhaust fan we got to put in, the homeowner bought. And the one she bought, it's a really nice one. It's got a fan, then it has a night light, and then it has a regular light. It literally has to have three separate hots. And we're dealing with an old bathroom, you know, with plaster walls and stuff, and we have a switch that is not good. It's just not good. And you know what they did? Now I know why. They did it backwards. They ended up putting the hot to the unit, and they made the switch leg the neutral. If you ever do any home electrical work, understand this. What you always put on the switch for a light is the hot and the hot. That way, when the switch is off, the fixture is off.
But you know when the house was built, like in the 50s.
Well, no, that was still the way it should have been then.
The 50s, it was.
They did the switch leg on the switch, so you had two whites. Because that's what I was going to do.
Well, in the 50s, though, it wasn't that many regulations to begin with. Like
probably so.
Now.
So that's why it was hot up.
That's why a lot of those plugs you see and switches are not grounded.
So we've had to go in the closet, cut a hole so that way we can run a new wire, and I need to go pick up some wire for that. But if you are a season ticket holder I can't speak right this morning. Season ticket holder for the Dallas Cowboys this year, the Dallas Cowboys have canceled season tickets for this year. However, here's what'll happen. If you already have bought a PSL, a personal seat license, you get extended one more year. And season ticket holders have the right of first refusal for single game tickets. So what they're looking at is saying is, we really don't know how many tickets we're going to be able to sell. But if season ticket holders want to buy individual game tickets, they get priority. That's going to be interesting to see how many people actually want to go to the games. What do you think? You think you'll get a lot of people that want to actually go to the stadium?
I mean, talking about that many people to begin with.
It would be crazy to be, because I'm just trying to imagine what it would be like. So let's say hypothetically they say 25,000, because that's a quarter of the capacity.
Probably, yeah.
And you have to be 6 feet apart. So that means that
hey, the Dallas Cowboys Stadium, they could easily do that.
They could easily do that, but the question is the feel of it. So that means you're probably going to have 3 seats between you.
Well, you know what they can do at the Dallas Cowboys Stadium.
Well, they can adjust.
Yeah, they can adjust the seats so it's whatever the distance is apart.
I mean, you'd have plenty of, because I mean, basically they could end up having set it so they only have 25,000 seats in there because they are movable, so they can add.
I'm not sure if I'm not sure if I want to wear a mask throughout the whole game.
Yeah, that's the thing. You're gonna have to wear a mask for 3 hours.
Yeah, I'm not doing that.
You know, and the other thing that I think about too is, if you have to spread people apart, right? That means you still have to open up the whole stadium. So are you only going to have, I mean, for example, as big as AT&T is, you're going to need to have vendors open on both sides of it. You're not going to say we're going to, reduce the food capacity by 25%, and you got to walk on the other side of the stadium to get to it. That you know how long that shit takes. I don't know that it's really viable.
I think inside the stadium is a lot easier than if you're saying if you're doing tailgating.
Well,
you can't regulate tailgating.
Well, I don't think
inside the stadium you can set the markers or whatever, so it's 6 feet apart. You can put easily in AT&T stadium. You can take the seats and you can spread them out further with the tracking system. It's much easier inside the stadium than it is on the outside.
I don't think haven't done a final announcement.
Well, of course they haven't.
On that. I mean, we know that in Philadelphia there's no fans.
But
Jacksonville, I think, said 25%. I think New England already stated that they weren't going to have fans.
Yeah, but also
the Raiders have talked about,
No, but it also depends on the local government too. Whatever their state says, because state overrides wherever they want.
Well, the way things are kind of blowing up right now in Florida and Texas and California. California. I can't see them in California being able to have fans in the new stadium and stuff. But we'll have to wait and see how that goes. So, interesting. something else that's going to be interesting. I'll talk about it later because I want to make sure I have the facts in front of me. But they were doing a redraft of the 2016 draft. I want to tease this a little bit. So we know our quarterback, Dak Prescott, was drafted in the 4th round. The funny thing is in this Bleacher Report, you know where they have him drafted now? You might. Number 1. Carson Wentz going number 2. And where do you think they have Jared Goff going? They had the Cowboys taking Jared Goff 4th. Could you imagine?
Well,
That means
we actually did. We're looking at him, but it cost us too much to begin him.
Well, no. If Dak Prescott had gone first, Carson Wentz went second. I think they had Joey Bosa going 3rd. You could have had Jared Goff or Zeke Elliott. So, from the standpoint, we didn't have to make that choice because Jared Goff was already gone. Carson Wentz was already gone. So you didn't look at any of the quarterbacks and say there's a great quarterback to go ahead and take with the 4th pick. But because they're revisiting it now and saying that Dak Prescott is the best quarterback in that draft and should have been the number 1 pick, and then Carson Wentz are saying was the 2nd best one, and the Eagles were right to get him. Now Jared Goff is free, and the Cowboys' need was Tony Romo. You don't know how much time he has left. You don't know when you're going to be up here this high again. You'd take the best quarterback that was there. But Jared Goff's not the guy. Jared Goff, I know people say, well, he was in the Super Bowl. His team was in the Super Bowl. He certainly didn't play like Pat Mahomes did. Well, he did play like Pat Mahomes the game, the first half of the Super Bowl. Pat Mahomes wasn't that great. But Jared Goff had 2 wide open deep routes that he was late delivering on that allowed the Patriots to get back in position to knock the ball away. If he had hit those 2 passes, they would have won that game going away. I just don't see Jared Goff, as much as they talk about Dak Prescott can't carry a team. Jared Goff wouldn't have been the guy to step in and take Tony Romo's place. And without Zeke Elliott, that running game, that would have been a disaster. But I'm going to talk about that a little bit more later. What could you imagine what that would have been like? And the Rams would have had Dak Prescott. I bet you they would have been happy to have had Dak instead of Jared Goff. All right, guys, I'm here at the depot picking up some more shit. And I will catch you guys on the flip side. Time to mask up, grab my shit, and get out. I'm Mark Holmes with
Michael Anthony Fitness.
I guess he still wants to be my son. I don't know. I'll see y'all.